Hey guys, welcome back to rhrjen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, I have such a good show. I'm already cracking up. Such a good show for you today. We are taking a look at St. Meghan Markle because Meghan and Harry are up to so much stuff right now that it's a fun way to break down all the highs and lows. And this time, we're going to play a little game. We're going to have some fun with it. If you're new here, I'm Jen. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the thumbs up, leave me comments as all those does help YouTube to recommend my videos. I sincerely appreciate that. And a big thank you to everybody who continues to hit the hype button for me. I read your comments. I appreciate them so much. I just can't explain to you how much that is really helping my channel grow. And thank you for that. Now let's jump right on in, shall we? Starting with this. So in case you didn't know, on Wednesday, we get to see William and Catherine. I'm so excited. They will be at the Royal Albert Hall at the Royal Variety Performance. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what our Catherine is going to wear. I can't wait to see them there. It'll be so special and so wonderful. Now, before we had this look, it's gorgeous. Now, people are speculating, what's Meghan going to do? Well, let me show you something really funny because it's one of my favorite pictures to drag out and show anytime I get the chance. But first, can we just take a moment and say, ah, Catherine, look how beautiful she looks. That color is exquisite on her. I mean, she looks good and everything. It's kind of not fair, right? But this is from a Royal Variety Performance years ago, back when they were still with the royal family. And I love bringing this picture up and showing you this is not a doctored picture, no matter what the squad says. It's not. So what I can tell you, because can you tell I'm so excited? So my boyfriend Greg Davies, the one that hosts Taskmaster, I love that show. I love him. He's my favorite comedian. Greg was hosting and he kind of took some jabs at these two, nothing mean, just kind of playful jabs. It's just kind of his personality. And this was their face while he was taking jabs. I love it. It's even more reason to love Greg, right? Love Greg Davis. Anyway, so we got this picture, but we also got, again, unedited, this picture right here. What are we looking at? Well, Maggie Poo's doing a little scratching. Yeah, again, unedited. There's actually a video of it, of her scratch, gross. I won't even scratch. Not the only video of her scratch. I believe we're at 3 videos now of her scratching. Gross. Anyway, so when I think Royal Variety Performance, I think of stuff like this, where she wore a bathing suit to the Royal Variety Performance and scratched. Anyway, all right, let's take a look at what people are saying about this, including, can you imagine going to the most desired theater in London to the concert, which is basically organized for you, Royal Variety? And let's see, this is such an insane privilege. Instead, Harry and Meghan are now asking their agents to find someone in Australia to invite them for a visit and pay for it, of course. H&M became beggars. Whoa. Now, we're going to say allegedly on this, but I've heard rumblings of the same thing. Have you heard this? That supposedly they're asking to go to Australia. Can you imagine? Who in their right mind would want to invite these two anywhere, but especially somewhere fabulous like Australia? Hi, Aussie geese. I love you guys. Geese and ganders. I love you guys. But seriously, though, who is inviting them anywhere? Now, if I understand correctly, there have been, it's more than rumblings, I think, at this point. It's been written about in some of the books I read. I always point over here because my books are over here. Some royal books that I've read, they all point to alleged horrible behavior, especially in Australia. That's when they went on that tour when they were still with the royal family, and she announced whatever you think was happening under her dress, a pregnancy or something, with Archie at the time. And the rumors, the speculation, the smoke, where there's smoke, there's fire, was they were horribly behaved, horribly fighting, supposedly. And that's where, forgive me, I'm probably going to get the name wrong, but I believe it's the mansion, right, in Australia, where they supposedly asked for the whole thing for themselves, even though Her Majesty the late Queen, Catherine and William, and different, actual working royals had stayed with the people that already, I believe it's called, is it the governor's mansion? It's whatever it is, other people live there because it's huge and gorgeous. But these two allegedly asked for it for themselves. No. And then allegedly, this is also where the tea throwing incident happened, if you believe that. But according to the books I've read, it all went down in Australia. They also went to Fiji on this tour. She had that horrible incident in the market. It was just like one thing after another. She wore the alleged blood diamond earrings. Just a lot of terrible things on this trip. But anyway, I digress. So who in their right mind would ever invite these two anywhere, but especially a place where they supposedly acted awful? Oh, and lest we not forget, they were given ceremonial hats. I cannot remember the names of them. You can let me know in the comments. The special hats. And where, like we've seen William and Catherine were given hats when they went to Canada. They plopped them right on their head and they wore the whole outfit and they had a big smile on their faces, as you do if somebody gives you a gift. I always say, I taught my Gosling this. I don't care what it is. Somebody gives you a gift, you say, these are the best socks you've ever gotten. These are the best, whatever, used pencils I've ever gotten. Whatever it is, it's a gift. You thank people. You be genuine about it. Most people are taught that at a young age. Harry and Meghan could not be bothered to put the hats on their head. Instead, looked at them in disgust, like, oh, I can't believe we're given these things. And then I believe they were never seen again. So just think about that. And you really want to invite these people back? I don't think so. Anyway, so yeah, the rumor is that they're begging to be invited back to Australia. Good luck with that. Australia didn't want them the last time they went. Andrew allegedly had to go over and go on an apology tour. Imagine how bad it was that they had to send Andrew to mend fences. Okay, so that's interesting. I forgot about that. Allegedly, that was the thing, is they were so awful on this tour. They ended up sending Andrew after them to say, sorry about that. We're not all this bad. Think about that and what we know now. And knowing him, he probably broke some fences while he was there. Exactly. All right. I don't even know what the context of this was, but it just made me laugh. Something with flower sprinkles, something formerly known as fruit, and what did I just say? A husband formerly known as Prince, a spare. That's fantastic. Okay. I can't wait to see what Catherine wears. Me too. Oh, I hope it's blue, but whatever it is, it'll be gorgeous. And I'll be laughing knowing Madame is scouring the web for photos and steaming like a tea kettle. Exactly. The crockery was last spotted organizing a sick note and an Uber to take it beyond the blast zone. Godspeed, dinnerware. That's right. Thank you for your service. Um, Yeah. So, shall we take bets? Let me know in the comments, what is Megan going to do to try to get attention and eyes on herself during the Royal Variety performance where we get William and Catherine? I can't wait to hear your predictions on this. What do you think she'll do? Let me know. Some vague kid reference, kid turned around backwards, blurry kid, sideways kid, something like that. She seems to think that those are heavy hitters. They're not. Nobody cares. Um, let's talk about this. I thought this was such an interesting post. This person posts Harry versus Henry the Eighth. Why did I say it like that? Let me try that again. Harry versus Henry the Eighth. Now, if you know me at all, I'm super into Henry the Eighth. I love the Tudors period. I've read a lot of books on it. I love the show, The Tudors. Super into it. I've been around on the tour and England, and I loved it. Super interested in Anne Boleyn and all that history. But let's take a look and see what they say about that, because it's pretty good. So this person writes, I can't be the only one who is slightly disturbed over just how much Harry is reminiscent of Henry VIII. Not just their names. Harry was born Henry, or the physical appearance with the red hair, the beady eyes, but right down to the shitty attitude, both known to be emotional, scandalous, and compulsive, and a massive inferiority complex. That's exactly what sprang to mind when I read this, I was like, "Oh, you're so speaking my language. I didn't even think about that." That's right. Those terrible piss poor attitudes, and I didn't even think about that. Yeah, inferiority complex is a great way to say it. Much like the current dimwit, Henry VIII was also born as a second son. He married his older brother's wife, Catherine. Remind you of a certain spare who also seems to have an obsession with his older brother's wife named Catherine. There you go. Henry disturbed the institutions around him and broke away from them and held suspicious. Hold on one second. Let me make that better. And held suspicions toward advisors, courtiers, etc. Henry was highly aware and obsessed with controlling his image, how he was judged and depicted. Isn't that interesting? Henry was described as charming and popular in his youth, but public favor declined due to his choices and controversies. Henry's mother, who was beautiful, popular, and charitable, and a stable force in his life, died when he was 11. Most historians agree he was emotionally attached to her and became very different after her death. Henry's father was known to be formal, distant, and emotionally reserved. He longed for his father's approval and at times resented him for not preparing him to be king like his older brother. There you go. I thought that was such an interesting point. But people are pointing out, and this is kind of where I lay, which is um, where they differ is the gulf of intelligence. Henry VIII, if you didn't know, yes, he was said to be a terrible person, but he was supposed to be highly intelligent. I don't think we get the same from the current modern Henry. And they talk about his education as well and his rank. One is a simp, the other wasn't. That's pretty good. Henry VIII was smart and knew he had a problem because he needed a male heir to prevent a war. Harry can't conceptualize, can't make decisions, struggles to manage day to day life. That's exactly what I thought as well. Henry VIII, from my take on it all, my opinion, is that he was very smart, but also knew how to manipulate people to get what he wanted. Um, I don't think, I think together, well, I was gonna say, I don't think Harry's capable of that. And then I thought, well, Meghan helps him with that, but I don't think I think she's manipulative, but I don't think she's effective as she thinks she is. I think people see through her more and more. I think at first she was, but then people started to see the patterns and they're like, no, we don't believe you. Anyway, interesting. Interesting history. Harry better be very thankful that his father is King Charles III, not Henry VIII, or vital body part would be decorating the gates of the Tower of London to warn other traitors, in my opinion. I don't think modern Henry's noggin is vital. He uses it very little. Ditto for Rachel, his husband. That's pretty good. All right. I can absolutely see why you compare and contrast the two. I think they are dead spits. However, Henry VIII was extremely clever. That's everything I've read says similarly. He was very smart. Whether you like him or not, which most people later on did not, he made the absolute break from the Church of Rome and established an entirely different system of religion. The Church of England still holds strength. The Protestant religion is still that of majority of the faith of our country 500 years on. I still continue to say the religion has always been seen as a revenue. Meanwhile, Harry continues to glom on to anything that might make him or his hideous wife look as though they're human. His only God is his vile wife. That's interesting. Apparently, Henry VIII was kind of a rock star of the lute in his youth and was considered extremely handsome heartthrob, but then turned bald, bloated, paranoid, and angry as he grew older. It's kind of like how Harry was the fun one until he met Meghan. See, I thought this person did such a good job comparing the two. Besides the names, there do seem to be a lot of similarities there. I find it completely and totally fascinating. You have to let me know your thoughts on that if you see the similarities as well, not just in looks, but in personalities as you've understood them. All right. What if okay, this is the game that I wanted to play. So I want you to comment below on this as well. What if Harry never met Meghan in an alternate universe? Who would he marry? Who would he marry? You can leave me a name. You can leave me a personality type. You can tell me a bad choice. I know he's already married a bad choice. You can tell me a good choice and how that would have turned out. Do you think if he had married somebody quote unquote good or somebody that actually had his best interest at heart, that could have maybe guided him a little better or at all, that kind of thing? Like, do you think he would have had he married a Catherine type, assuming that she would have put up with him, not Catherine herself, but I'm saying Catherine type, would it have gone better for him, or would he have not? Would he have gone like this and then she would have left? Like, how would that have gone? Let me know in the comments below. It's an interesting thought exercise, but let's take a look at some of these answers. Harry's full of low vibrational emotions like anger, jealousy, resentment, and bitterness. The only person he could have attracted would be someone on his own vibrational level, like Meghan. If not Meghan, then Meghan 2.0. And if he divorces and eventually remarries, I see a spouse who is also very bitter. Harry would have to work on himself an awful lot to attract a woman who is nurturing, kind, and genuine. I don't know if Harry is capable of that. I tend to follow the same. I fall in the same category. I'm not even going by what ifs. I'm saying, okay, well, what if they do separate? I don't wish that on anybody ever, so don't misread me there. But what if they do separate? Okay. What is he bringing to the table? He doesn't seem to have a good personality. I'm not in his finances. I don't know. I don't think he's destitute, but I think in my opinion, I would think that they're dwindling somewhat. He doesn't carry the same, what's the word, cachet that he used to. He doesn't seem to have, again, a good personality or the humor that he used to. He takes himself very seriously. We can go on and on. He just seems to be petulant and, in my opinion, not the brightest. I'm not just trying to be mean to him. I'm just saying that just seems to be my observation based on the things he says and does. I don't see ton going on upstairs there, but I just wonder, like, what does he bring to the table? What does he offer to anybody? I don't know what skills he has. He doesn't seem to be very motivated. So what is it that he's going to offer somebody? Just a vague connection to royalty? I just don't know what kind of woman is going to be interested in something like that. But you can let me know in the comments what you think. They are perfect for each other. Harry's vile person at his heart, while at the same time he's too lazy and too vain. I tend to think the same thing. And Meghan is a perfect hitman for Harry. So he's an excuse to cosplay victim as if the harmful things he has done are under duress. That's exactly, I think so. I think it's well said. I kind of feel the same way. I do. I think they suit each other in a horrible way. I'm not saying they're good people. I'm saying they're good for each other, and then they don't have to inflict their pain on anybody else as far as, trying to find other partners. Oof. All right. He claims he wore the LA Dodger cap under duress. How weak is he? Is everything he has done been under duress, abusing the queen, stealing her pet name, more BS lies? So I had this conversation with a friend and I was saying the same, and they were pointing out, Jen, I think the under duress statement is tongue in cheek, and I do tend to fall in that category. I think it's tongue in cheek as well, but I would point you to this. Look how unlikable Harry is, because anybody else in the world says that, of course. I was made to put on the LA hat under duress. We're not taking that literally. We're laughing it off. Pick anybody. I don't care. Chris Pratt, anybody, whoever says that, you're just like, ha ha ha, tee hee hee. Okay, sure. Harry is just such a bitter, I don't know, pill that I don't think people see him as fun or funny anymore. So he says things like that. People do take him more like, oh. And so I think that says a lot about him. He's not he's not known for his sense of humor or his creativity anymore or anything like that. So I just think that shows how far he's fallen. So I agree that it was probably meant to be tongue in cheek, but when you have a crap attitude like the two of them have, people don't tend to take you in that way. So I think stealing using the late queen's pet name, which she is on record having said they did not ask for permission for, and then lying about it is possibly the worst thing they've ever done. That is so hard to pick. That is so hard to pick because they've done so many horrible things. That's why I continue to talk about it. I don't think we should forget about it. And I say they because Harry is 100% complicit. I always say the same thing. I don't want to just come down on her. I think he's just as much complicit, if not more sometimes, in that decision. If he had half a brain, which we know he doesn't, he would immediately and legally correct that name and offer a profuse public apology. He would never. He was very much complicit. Any subsequent marriage sees Harry come to the table. Yep, exactly. No job. We don't know about his finances, but we're assuming no wealth, no UK home, and rumors of bad behaviors. So he would have to grovel to the royal family for support. And second time around, his choice of spouse could be vetoed. I don't know how any of that would work. I just feel like the royal family, I don't put that on them. They have actual important things to do, work to do, money to raise for good causes, things like that. Charities to spotlight. They're not taking him back on. If they do, I think he's in the very back in an Andrew type situation, just, So, all right. There are women with martyr and savior complexes. That would be his best bet. Can you imagine that that's what they can hope for him? Somebody I feel sorry for that woman. Me too. Don't do it, ladies. Don't do it. Some might see him as a challenge and someone who's malleable, as evidence would seem to suggest. In other words, someone who could be see him as a project and work to change him to the best version of himself in their eyes, at least. And I will not be gender specific in saying who that might be. That's an idea. That's a theory. And then they said he would marry Nacho. Maybe Nacho would be I know Nacho's married, but maybe that'd be a good fit for him. I don't know. Maybe if he was happier, he wouldn't be such a prick. I don't whatever makes you happy. I'm not judging that. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, honestly. He just seems like such a nightmare and such just not fun. I don't know. I really don't know who his best bet would be, but you can let me know in the comments below who you think you should marry, person, place, or thing. Now, personality, whatever it is, let me know. I just don't know if there's a good option with that, but let me know. I'm curious. All right, that is going to do it for me. You have to let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to remind you that I do have my second channel, It's Goose Adventure, right there. I'm detailing how I lost over 140 pounds. This week's episode, I talk about how to go out to eat and still lose weight. That's something that I enjoy doing and something that I tried to make as easy as possible for you. So check that out if you're the least bit interested. A huge thank you to you all for being here, for supporting this show, for being so lovely to me and kind, and for hitting the hype button. I really appreciate that. Also, I have a video up where I show decorating the tree. In fact, let me stall for 1 second. I think I can get that thumbnail back again and I'll show you. If you missed that video, go back and watch it. Give me 1 second. I think I've got it right in here somewhere. Hold on. Where are you? Oh, right here. Okay, here we go. So go back and watch this video if you have a chance. I would really appreciate it. My tree is tipping over in this thumbnail, but you can see how I decorate it and what all the ornaments are and how I decorated myself and all that. And it's so much better than the beige crap that she's giving us now. So check that out if you're interested. Again, a huge thank you for being here and for watching. If you want to further support the show, you know how to do it. We are upon the holiday season. If you're looking for a good holiday gift, I do have my merch. We have Everything's Fine. Even if they don't watch my channel, it's a stressed out goose and it's a note of encouragement. Like, everything's fine. If we just ignore everything else, everything's fine. Check that out. And we have Team Catherine and so much more over there. Check that in Hong Kong if they like geese. So much more. Not Bloody Likely. All that stuff, from tote bags to water bottles and glasses and everything's out, shirts and all different sizes and colors and all that. You can really check all that out. Thank you so much for that. And I have Patreon, patreon.com/real housewives recaps. As I always say, it's my old name, but it's got tons of bonus stuff, tons of new material. Check that out. I've been deep diving in the Victoria Beckham special and enjoying it so much. People are really enjoying that over there. So go find me over there. And a huge thank you to my executive, Geese and Ganders, the wind beneath my goosey wings, for supporting me. And that's going to do it for me. I hope you all have the best day, and I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi. Check this out. Look, I said check it out a lot today. I thought this was so cute. So I've been into the sheer shirts lately. I'm single-handedly bringing back the 90s. But see, I can't stand it too much because I have PJ pants on, but it's a sheer shirt, but it's maroon. I just thought it was so fun the way it's cut. And let's see here. It's just so fun and cute, and I love the color. And I showed in the last video, I got my nails done in this holiday fun. It's like a chrome red. I thought it was so fun. Hopefully you like it. Anyway, yeah, if you stay tuned this long, what should we play? All right. I really like, okay, did you watch The Tudors? Let me know that. Are you into that time period, Henry VIII and all that? I so am. Do you see the comparisons to Henry versus Henry VIII? Let me know. And what else? If you did follow that time period, which was your favorite of Henry's wives? I know she's controversial, but I actually like the spunkiness of Anne Boleyn. I know. I know I'm supposed to pick Catherine because she was an interest, that was the you just have to look into the history. She has an interesting history there from Spain, but I love Anne Boleyn. I think she's so interesting. There's supposedly Jane Seymour is supposed to be the really kind, lovely one. The one I think historians say that she was his true love, but I don't know. I just, there's something magnetic about Anne Boleyn. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the love and support. I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. Take care. There's my tree with my crown. Bye.